August 20th, 2022. And I'm trying not to forget the dream, but basically it was about me being at a gas station and this homeless girl that I saw before approached me. She was heavy set, or someone that I perceived to be homeless. And and I think she asked me for something, and she asked me, did I have anything? And I said, well, tell me three things that you may want or need, and I'll let you know if I can help you with any of those, because I really don't have it to give right now myself. I'm kind of in a struggle too, but I might have something surplus or extra at home that I can provide for you. And she was hesitant about answering it. There's some little guy that was with her. This girl was like maybe 300 pounds, hoodie, all red hoodie, all this. And there was a little guy, a little black guy with her that was like the opposite. He was like a midget almost. And he didn't have too much to say. He was just kind of in earshot, right? And I said, yeah, tell me three things that you want or need, and I'll tell you I might have something, at home that would be able to supply that need. And she was just like, oh, she wasn't really giving me an answer. And she was like, she needed $100. I was like, I don't have $100 just to give you like that. And she says, well, what about if? And then she gave the guy the stuff she had in her hand, and she insinuated something different. And I was like, no, that's not going to work. And we were upstairs at the apartment complex that I first moved to when I got here. And unbeknownst to me, she was staying with a family member that was like, really, her place was real nice. This is so sad because I was going to say well to do, but it wasn't that she was well to do. Her place was just nice. It was well kept, which, sad to say, it does take a certain level of normalcy and finances to even have that. But um, man, this is sad. So, and she was like, oh, okay then. And she had this big dog with her. And I know how all of this relates to my real life world, but she had this big dog with her. So she was going into that house, and it was like her sister or somebody she was related to. The woman was really well, and it was my old apartment actually, but it was she had it, and it was nice, but she had extra things like the rugs and all this furnishings. And she told her, told her to come on in, and the girl had sat on a couch, and I was like, oh, you taking the dog too? And I was like, can I give and the dog looked so healthy when I got in the house, it looked different. And I said, can I give the dog a hug before I go? And she got this weird look on her face, like, well, oh, okay. And so I tried to hug the dog, but it was so big and so jovial, so I let it go. As I went down the stairs, I happened to look back up, and all of the dogs, there's 4 or 5 dogs chained to the gate, to like the little staircase gate off to the side. Bunch of little dogs and the two big dogs. And so I was like, okay, that's why she looked at me like that, because they're usually outside anyway. So I came downstairs, and then when I came downstairs, I went to do something. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back and cut through this way. I started to cut back through, but there were two staircases that kind of met together at the bottom, very small space. And the dogs saw me. They all came running down, barking. And so I was making my voice loud or whatever to scare them and intimidate them, and they were abating themselves a little bit, but they kept coming. And so I was like wanting to take, I took my flip flop off. I was going to hit it on the ground to scare them. But it was like all of my energy, you guys, was zapped, right? My energy was zapped so bad. And it's like I couldn't, not because I didn't want to, or not because I was scared. I just couldn't. Now, and then I kind of woke up. The whole way that this relates to my real life, the heavy set homeless woman, I was walking back from, I think, the bank or something. I don't know. I was walking back from somewhere, and she appeared out of nowhere behind me. And like I said, some weird things have been happening in my life. And, I was talking about how, I don't really see that many homeless women. I see women that are being trafficked and such, in my opinion. But this woman was by herself, and she's homeless, and she started talking to me, or we started talking to each other. I talked to her because I was just like, yeah, it's so hot. So usually I'm the only female walking down the street. But, I saw her. I started talking to her. I offered her one of my clean washcloths that I just bought because it's really hot. And it made me feel good to be able to do something, but I had to remember that, how am I doing for myself right now, right? And so that's how that part of the dream came about. And I think she was going to the gas station to probably meet somebody or something. Not sure what the whole deal was there. Then the other part of real life, that dog, the people next door got this big old mangy looking dog. It's old. It's on its last leg. I don't know where they got it from, but I came out today and the little girl was out back with it. And when I came out, she kind of sighed, like, I don't know what the sigh was about. I don't care as long as it don't come over my yard. I really don't care. I don't have anything to say, But and she had like another little boy, just like in the dream. That little boy was fat and black, but in the dream it was a midget. But the same thing. You guys, like, I don't know, but there was a lot of parallels in my real life to the dream. And then the woman making that crazy offer, I saw something that I shouldn't have saw, and that's what made me think about that. And talking about seeing things you shouldn't see, one of the things that keeps popping up a lot is people taking advantage of women and kids and stuff. And it made me think about myself and how I have to be mindful, not only of my surroundings, but even when you're home alone, you have to be careful too, because the stuff that you get exposed to inadvertently, you have to be careful, But the thing that got me the most was the part where those dogs were running down. See, the dogs was something I wanted to pet, and then when I came down, they all came running down, barking at me. They weren't my friends. I could have warded them off easily. I weren't scared of them, anything like that, but my energy was completely sapped. And that's kind of how I feel about this particular task in my life that I need to accomplish or achieve. And honestly, I will work on it and try to work towards it or try to achieve it because I'm supposed to. What else am I going to do? I don't have any other choice, right? But it's like I don't have the energy. Like, all of the energy in me has been sapped when it comes to that. So I'll try one thing that leads me to my goals, which all end up back to that one large goal. And once I get to that, then there's a hurdle that comes, an unexpected hurdle that's completely out of the way that I have to do checks and balances to check up on. And then I find an easy way to do it, which is really, physically a harder way, but I'm okay with that. I just want to get it done. I don't care. And then I get back to the root of the thing, which is this one thing that I really need to do and work on. So I start working on that, and I realize how distasteful and how much I really don't want to do that. And I'm finding ways to kind of get out of it, like to self-soothe. One would be food. I've been doing so much banana pudding and ribs and pork chops. It's ridiculous. And then the other part of it, outside of food, is, self, I don't know how to say it, kind of like a self-hypnosis or just putting myself to sleep, right? And then it's like, for some reason, because right now my spirit and energy doesn't flow in that direction, I feel so guilty. I feel like with the way the world is, that I really shouldn't be there, like my thoughts and whatever. And so then I don't know how, but then I just fell asleep. It was like 12:20 when I woke up. It's been like 10 minutes. But I fell asleep. So it's still pretty early because if you take into consideration, I've wasted a lot of time. But you guys, I don't know. That's how I feel. And in the real world, feel of, like I said, whenever I'm trying to do something or trying to go against whatever it is that I need to go against, it's like I'm moving slower, like something's taking me in slow motion. There was a dream that I had when I was little, and I just recently reiterated on TikTok because I saw this woman that did a post, and in her post, she had this picture of this. It was like, what is something that you're most scared of? I wasn't scared of it. It exists. Okay. It was this huge gargoyle demon looking thing with red eyes. And I remember when I was little, I saw that same exact thing, but it was in a dream, and it was a dream. And I've still told this dream quite a few times on here, but basically it was back in the days when my dad was in the military. My mom was just a housewife. We were at a huge library, like the library in Ghostbusters. It was me, my mom, my sisters, my brother. At the time in the dream, I was like 8. My sister was like 4. My little brother was just an itty bitty baby in my mom's arms. The whole library started shaking, and she was reading to us from the book. She was teaching us English while she was reading, and she was teaching herself English as she was reading, and teaching us English and to read as well. And all of a sudden, the whole library started shaking, and she got real scared, and she jumped up and she grabbed my sister's hand and says, Morty, come on, let's go. We took off running. She was like, run, run, run. And I remember the verse in the Bible from Paradise Lost said, don't look back. But the more I tried to run, my mom was telling me to hurry, but I couldn't. And I was fat, and I was trying to run like 130 pounds at 8 years old. And I really was, by the way. But I was trying to run, and there was a gargoyle or a statue, but I didn't know it was there. We ran past it when we went out. And the more harder I tried to run or faster I tried to run, the harder it became. It pulled me more and more. So finally, I was like, you said don't look back. But I was like, what is this that's pulling me? When I turned around to look, it was a gargoyle demon on the porch. And it was making a come here finger real slow, and smiling menacingly. And I kept trying to run. But the more I kept trying to run, the more it had a pull on me. And then my mom, she couldn't pay attention to me anymore because she had my sister's hand and my brother in her arms. So she kept going. This dream was really prophetic. I did have it when I was 8 or 9. And then when I look back, it's like the demon pulled me all the way back. I couldn't run no more. And so I was sitting at his foot, and he was trying to anoint me with some oil. Anyways, not trying to scare anybody. I can understand if that's not, but just seeing how that can be scary. Because when I see other people do stuff, I'm just like, oh, that's scary. But whatever. I wasn't scared when I was younger. I knew what it was, and I recognized it. I wasn't scared. And God was with me all the time, because I used to have dreams, too, about all that. And we weren't really religious when we were little. At that time, we weren't even introduced to the church. So as far as the gargoyle and the library, I think maybe when I was little, perhaps it may have been influenced by Ghostbusters movie, something like that. But you guys, just want to share a dream vlog. But in real life, I am having that issue where I'm struggling. It's like the more I try to do, the more I get pulled back, to the point of almost. And I've never, my mainstay in life has always been people need people and never give up. The far as the people need people part, and these days I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving folks alone, not putting any type of faith or whatever in them. If they do good, good. If they don't, don't. Another thing that I wanted to mention too, life lessons, especially in today's age, be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of who you're communicating to. And when I say these things, it's for me, especially, but someone else, I can see how it could easily be true for someone else too. Be aware of your surroundings and be aware of who you're communicating to. Because even though you may not be speaking to someone directly, they are in your environment and they can hear. Be mindful of that. Don't say any more than that's needed. Like I said, I had that dream yesterday where I say way too much. And the dream didn't say I said way too much, but the portion with the teeth where something was going on with the teeth, that tells you that. But I love you guys. Be aware of your surroundings. If you guys drive, be careful and watch your cars. If you see something with a napkin in your car, don't touch nothing with your hands. If it's something on your car that doesn't belong there, don't assume that your friend or your mate put it there. Don't touch it with your hands. People are lacing stuff with crazy stuff. If you see something on the ground, be it money or otherwise, don't pick it up if it does not belong to you. Don't do it. Don't do it. People are lacing stuff with drugs. Folks are crazy these days. And I talked about, well, I didn't talk about it here, about how, it's not just attractive people or cute people or young people. People are harvesting people for organs and bullshit like that. So please, guys, be mindful. And I remember back in the 2012s, 2010s, there were a lot of people that were unaliving themselves, like in Pembroke Pines, Miramar. And I was like, why? And they had made whole videos of why they were doing it. And I was like, why? And the police or law enforcement or whoever took their videos down, I was like, why would they do that? Because I want to know what would make them do that. And then people were excusing it, saying, oh, they don't want other people to do it. But I want to hear what they had to say. I want to hear what it is that they had to say. Were they being prophetic and seeing all these different things happen? We see people still post dream vlogs and stuff like that, but it's not really pertinent. And I guess if it's godly wisdom, it wouldn't be, because it would be too much. Like I said, my dreams have been just up in the air. I don't normally I might go into doing another reading for myself. I haven't done that in a while, but just sharing that dream and how it relates to my real life. If you get a chance, I heard somebody else say to do this, but if you're in a dream and you remember, a lot of times you won't, because you're just so encroached into that dream. Walk up to somebody, ask them what date and time it is. Also ask them what their name is. Anyways, bless up, you guys. I love you. I love you. Take care.